Let's start constructing a stairway. So on the left here, we have an illustration of what the stairway is going to look like in our model view. And I've cropped the boxes down of the buildings, the section box down so we can see into that area. And over here is just a real world example of, a similar type of stairway being constructed. So let's get started. I'll click out to Revit now in our document. And as I said, I'm going to roll over our existing model view and create another view where I can do that section box with. So I'm going to duplicate the view, click on duplicate, and right away I'll click on this again and then once more to rename it, and I'll call this stair construction. And this may be just a temporary file for us. It'll depend on if we have any uses for it after we're done making the stairway. So I'm going to activate the section box. And I'm going to pull in, I'll click on the top of it and pull down until we can see into the building. And I'll just get rid of some of this other clutter here so we can get a full idea. Let's just have just enough to show the other beam. And we'll come in here real close. There we go. Now we have a good view of where we want to build the stairway. So I'm going to use our navigation tool and come to a top view of this. Now we can see where the edge of the mezzanine is. We can see down to the first floor. So we're ready to start a stairway. So we're going to use what's called the sketch. We're going to sketch the run of the stairway. So right away it's coming up as an assembled stair, which is what we want. If not, you need to select that. We're going to start at level 1 and go up to the mezzanine level. It's going to automatically calculate the number of steps and not violate the code by going over 7 inches of rise. So one other change I want to make is I want to change the width of the stairway to at least 4 feet. And once we have those set, we're ready to start. It's just a matter of determining a location. So I'll scroll in and then I'll pan a little bit by holding down the center mouse button. And we'll start by just being 4 feet off of the center line of the beam. And I'm right at the face edge of the mezzanine, but I'm starting at the first floor. Remember, this is the base level. This is where we start our stairways. And what that does is it allows the stairway to just be in alignment with that. So once I'm at that point, I'm going to click and drag out. And now it's important to notice that as I move out, the number of risers created are shown, and all those that are remaining are also shown. And we'll go until it says 13, so we're halfway, 13 and 13. I'll click, and now this is, I'm not going to click again, but I'm going to move up and click, and then drag back until I touch the face of that mezzanine. That's why we wanted 13 risers in each direction. And now you'll notice that it automatically creates a landing for us. If I select this one, you'll notice I just happened to be very lucky that it was another 2 feet apart and it landed at 8 feet. I can change this just to show you how flexible it is. If I change this witness line to 7 feet, it'll make that stairway narrower and closer. And I'll move it back to 8 feet. So that's 2 feet between the two stairwells as they switch back. And also we're 2 feet off of the center line of that beam. So now let's just take a look at this in the I guess 3D view. So I'll just navigate around here and pull off. And you'll notice we have an assembled stair constructed without railings on it, and that's because we just haven't completed it yet. So if I hit the check mark, we're going to have it automatically create our railing system for us. I don't particularly like these railings. You may be happy with them, but it's a very easy process to change them. So I'm going to hold down the control key and multiple select both railing systems. And I'm going to change that railing system now. I could change it to a glass panel, and we could see that get applied. Or I could change it to a handrail pipe, which gives it long linear tubes going along. And I'll leave it at that. So now we've constructed our first stairway system, and we're ready to take a look at adding some rails in along here. I also want to remind you or caution you that we'll find this being an issue. We may not be high enough for people to pass under this landing yet, so we may want to make adjustments, or you may want to make adjustments later on to that stairway. But suffice it to say, this is our brief introduction to creating stairways.